So let's talk about comma. So comma is the first punctuation that we are going to cover in this video. And in my opinion, it is the most important one for the SAT. Whatever example you're solving on the SAT, you're always going to be seeing comma in the answer choices. Here, for example, the questions from my website also have commas all the time. Rule number 2. Separate clauses using a comma. What is a clause? Have you ever heard this? Have you ever learned about clauses? If not, then it's not a problem because I will explain to you what clauses are and why we need to separate them with a comma. So a clause is a combination of a subject and a verb in English language. Emin is teaching. That is a clause because there's a subject. Subject in English language is the name that is doing the job, that is doing the work or the action. So if I say Emin is teaching, who is doing the work? Emin. And what is he doing? Teaching. So that's the verb. So we have a subject and the verb, and therefore this is called a clause. Here we have a longer sentence with clauses. Once you are ready, I will pick you up. You is a subject. Are is the verb to be. All right. So in English language, to be is am, is, are, or in the past simple, was, were. I was ready. I am ready. He was ready. He is ready. So is actually to be, a verb. And therefore, since you is a subject and are is a verb from to be, this is considered a clause. I will pick you up. To pick somebody up is a verb, it's an action, and I here is the subject in the second part of the sentence. I have two examples of clauses in this case. There are two types of clauses, dependent clauses and independent clauses. What does it mean? What is a dependent clause? What is an independent clause? Let's learn that together. So a dependent clause is a clause that cannot act as a full or complete sentence. If I say, once you are ready, or when I was young, or while I was reading, stuff like that, if I say this, nobody will understand what happened because I did not say what happened or what happens. These are incomplete sentences. Once you are ready, when I was young, while I was reading. You cannot send this to somebody as a text message and expect them to understand what you're trying to say because your sentences are not complete. So in such cases, this is called a dependent clause. On the other hand, independent clauses are clauses that don't depend on anything else. They are complete sentences. They do not need anything else next to them. I will pick you up. This is a complete sentence. You can send it to somebody and they will understand you completely. So since there are dependent clauses and independent clauses, we can actually use them together in a single sentence. Once you are ready, I will pick you up. Here it is. And in such cases, you must always remember that dependent clauses are separated from independent clauses using a comma. So use a comma to separate dependent clauses from independent clauses. So that means whenever we have a dependent clause and independent clause in a single sentence, if the dependent clause comes first, after it we'll put a comma, and then we write the independent clause and end it with a period. Let's see. Once you are ready, I will pick you up. In this case, I need a pause. Once you are ready, I will pick you up. And since I paused while reading this out loud, I also need to pause while reading it on my own. So I need a comma here. Another one, before he arrived, we made sure that everything is correct. As we can see here, before he arrived is a dependent clause, because I can't just say before he arrived and everybody will understand me. But we made sure that everything is correct is a complete sentence. And so I combined a dependent clause with an independent clause, a complete sentence, and I did that with the use of a comma. If you're wondering if you can combine independent clauses with dependent clauses with a comma, let's try to see if that's possible or not. So independent, comma, dependent clause. Is it even possible? And for that, I'm going to use this sentence and I will just invert it. I'm going to say, we made sure that everything is correct. And then I will add before he arrived. And now I want you to read this out loud and see if you have any misunderstanding. We made sure that everything is correct before he arrived. This sentence cannot be misunderstood. So in that case, we do not need a comma. So it turns out most of the times when there is an independent clause at the beginning and dependent clause at the end, we do not use a comma to combine them. We just leave the sentence without punctuation. That is a rule that you have to remember. Independent clauses, if they come first, do not require a comma to write a dependent clause next. To get better at SAT mathematics or SAT's verbal section, register to my SAT video course where I explain literally every single topic in videos, and you will have an opportunity to practice with over 400 digital SAT practice problems. Just visit the link in the description and you will come to this page where you will learn everything that my SAT course offers. And if you want to buy the course and watch my videos where I explain everything, then you can press this button and contact me on WhatsApp. Thank you for watching.